Welcome back, SethBling here, and today I want to share with you the Marifteen Minute Challenge. It's kind of a stupid name. It's based on a challenge originally by speedrunner Darbian called the Mari Hour Challenge. Mari Hour has a bit of a nicer ring to it than Marifteen Minute, but anyway, this is a speedrun challenge that I kind of made up for myself. The goal is to complete 4 different Mario credits warps in under 15 minutes. So there's 4 different games, and this on frame right now you're seeing Super Mario Bros. 3. That's obviously the first one. The second one is Super Mario World, which you've probably seen a lot of if you've seen my content before. The third one is going to be Super Mario Land 2, 6 Golden Coins, which is for the Game Boy, but I will be playing it on Super Game Boy using my Super Nintendo, which you can actually see in the background, along with my NES, which I'm currently playing Super Mario Bros. 3 on. And then the final game is Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. So these are all games that I've done credits warps for before and posted videos to my channel, but I decided to mash them all together and make a single sort of speedrun challenge. And I was able to do it. So Super Mario Bros. 3, I'll sort of like go through how each warp kind of works in each game. And talk about, all that. So in Super Mario Bros. 3, the goal is to get to World 7, which is Pipe World. In 7.1, there is a pipe glitch that you can do. Basically, you enter a pipe going the wrong way, and the game doesn't really know where to take you, and it takes you out of bounds somewhere that you hit a glitchy block, which basically runs code from somewhere it's not supposed to, and ends up running code from the sprite X coordinate table, which you'll actually see in 3 of the runs. 3 of these credits warps involve running code from the sprite X coordinate table. So basically I'm just getting 2 warp whistles. This is the second warp whistle. And by using the 2 warp whistles, I can quickly get to World 7, Level 1. And in 7.1, I will do that pipe glitch. Before I do the pipe glitch, I will need to set up the sprite X coordinate table. So there's 4 Koopa shells that need to be destroyed. Actually, wait, is it 4 or is it 3? I think it's only 3 actually. It's 3 Koopa shells that need to be destroyed at pixel perfect X coordinates. And it just so happens there's a very fast setup for that that's also very reliable. So here we are in 7.1. This is Pipe World. And so there's also some things I need to do in order, I had trouble getting in that pipe, things I need to do in order to just like get things to spawn into the right sprite slots so that all these shells, when they get despawned, have the right order to them so that they're in the right order in memory. So anyway, I grabbed that shell. That's the first one that I need to despawn. I basically just run into this block and kick it off. It gets destroyed because it's inside of a block. And then same thing for that one. They get destroyed and they just happen to be at the right X coordinate when they do. Here, I need to stop that shell at the pixel perfect X coordinate. I got very lucky to get it first try. You just have to jump on it while it's moving. So it's pretty unreliable to get that first try, but luckily I did get it. And then here, this is actually, I guess it's 4 shells because this shell, basically I take it, I move it up, and then when I take damage from that Koopa, sometimes it moves a pixel, sometimes it doesn't. Here's the pipe glitch. So you sort of clip into the pipe and go down the pipe, which you're not supposed to be able to do. Normally you're supposed to go up that pipe. So Mario is currently traveling down a very long pipe that the game doesn't really know where it ends because you're not supposed to be going downwards when you enter the pipe. Ends up going out of bounds, which you'll see in a second. And then I jump and hit a note block, which is out of bounds, and it doesn't really know what code to run. And so it ends up running the code from the sprite X coordinate table, which loads the credits. And in the background, you can see me, or on the webcam, you can see me switching games frantically. So that was actually a pretty good Super Mario Bros. 3 run for me. It's not anywhere near world record, but it was very close to my personal best. It just about tied my personal best at almost exactly 4 minutes. So that's pretty cool. Super Mario World coming up. I will not be using the world record strategy. I did get the world record in this category a few weeks ago, but I'm not going to be using that because it is very hard. I'm going to be using a variant of the newbie strategy, which I've posted before on my channel. It's going to be involving shell spits, and they're going to be done in a very relatively easy way where I have plenty of time to get to the right position. So the idea here is I need to duplicate that block for technical reasons. And then also I need to set up the camera scroll when I get the second Yoshi egg there. Then I'm going to be spitting out these red shells. Again, I'm getting these shells to be at specific X coordinates when they despawn. And they basically despawn the moment they leave Yoshi's mouth. They sort of spawn where Yoshi's mouth is and then immediately turn into fireballs. And whatever was left behind, whatever their X coordinate is, will be left behind in that sprite X coordinate table. It's just never going to be overridden again during the rest of the run. So there's one more spit I need to do to set an X coordinate. It's this one right here. And then I need to kill a couple of Koopas and then basically pick up the shell here and do some things with it to set a couple of more memory addresses just so that the glitch will actually work and run the code. And then I do the item swap glitch, which you've probably seen on my channel before. This is the glitch that causes the code to actually get run. And there we go. It runs the code, which plays the credits. And then I move on to the next game. Next game is going to be Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins. This glitch does not involve setting up code in the sprite X coordinate table or running arbitrary code at all. It's a different sort of glitch I showed on my channel about a week ago. This is a memory exploration glitch. You can see on the Super Game Boy, I'm setting up my controller to use Type A controls rather than Type B because I find it a lot more comfortable. I did lose a little bit of time to that, but it's not a big deal. Super Mario Land 2 is what actually came out after Super Mario World. So I'm running the games in release order, if you're curious why I chose this specific order. It happens that Super Mario Bros. 3 is my least consistent warp, so it's nice that I get to run that one first because I don't have to like be on a good run and then lose it over and over to bad Super Mario Bros. 3 runs. Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins, has a glitch called the pipe glitch in early versions of the game. There's multiple versions. They did patch the glitch actually in later releases. It's kind of hard to tell which release you have if you're looking at a cartridge. There's a little stamp that'll tell you. And this pipe glitch is kind of like the Super Mario Bros. 3 one we just saw. It will take Mario out of bounds. But instead of triggering arbitrary code by doing this, we will... it's really interesting. And you'll see it in a moment here. Not in a moment. I have to complete this level first. But it takes you out of bounds into... basically, it starts reading map data, level data from... somewhere other than where it's supposed to be reading level data. And it actually starts reading level data from the game code. And it looks very glitchy, but you'll see a representation of the actual game's code and some of the game's RAM as level data. It's really cool. My favorite credits warp glitch, just from an aesthetic standpoint. And yeah, so... first, I just have to beat this level, though. The way that you trigger the pipe glitch is that you go down a pipe and then exit the level while you're still going down the pipe. Then when you re-enter the level, the game still thinks that you're going down a pipe. And so it shoots you out the bottom half of the level. And that's how we get out of bounds. So you go down the pipe, start select to exit the level, and then when you re-enter the level, you get jettisoned out the bottom of the level. And then here we're out of bounds. You can kind of see some of the level. And then here you can actually see some of that memory, both ROM and something else, video memory called OAM. So this run was not that good. There I took damage and I broke a block that I wasn't supposed to break. Basically and then I re-triggered the pipe glitch. So this run, the credits warp run here, is all about getting to a very specific spot in RAM, breaking a block. There I accidentally hit a level clear tile. Sometimes there's just a level clear tile there. And so I quote unquote beat the level and had to re-trigger the pipe glitch again. I think this is the final time and I actually will complete it at this point. But most of this run is about just getting through this garbage. It's actually, speedrunners call this the garbage, down to the floor, which is where RAM is. And then breaking a certain block, which is a debug flag, that when that block gets broken, it sets a value in memory that says next time you load a level, play the credits. So here I'm going through the garbage. I'm just trying to get to the basically really far down in the garbage. So this here is called the pixel perfect pipe. And I didn't really have a chance to show this in my PB video, but basically you have to come to a sliding stop at a very specific pixel. There is an invisible block at Mario's eye level above that pipe. And so you have to slide to a stop. If you slide too far right, you get ejected to the right and you can't go down the pipe. But you basically have to stand up and then duck on consecutive frames. So basically you have to be ducking, let go of duck for one frame and then reduck to go down the pipe. And so to do that, we let go of duck and then on the next frame pause and then unpause holding duck again. And so it you basically buffers the input so that you can you don't have to really quickly let go of duck and then press it again. So you'll see it here. I let go of duck and then I press duck again and unpause the game. And so I got to go down this very long pipe. This is it seems like it shouldn't be necessary, but it is. There's an unbreakable row of blocks in there, and you just need to go through this pipe. And then here, there's a bunch of conveyor belts and stuff. It's very glitchy blocks that was obviously not intended to be treated as a level, but this is the path through, and here's the floor. So now we're in RAM. And so these blocks, the blocks that I was breaking up above, none of them actually stay broken. Because they are ROM, that's read-only memory. You can't actually modify it. So any block that I broke there would just immediately, it would never even actually really get broken. It would show you the animation as if it was breaking. But down below, I can actually break blocks and it does impact RAM. And so like I said, there is a debug flag at a specific spot in RAM, which we'll see in a minute, where when I break it, it's the third block down, right? I don't even know what happened there. Right there. So I'll start select and re-enter the level, and that debug flag will tell the game to play the credits. And so we'll see a couple frames of the credits before I quickly switch off to Yoshi's Island, which is the fourth game in the sequence. So Yoshi's Island, also called Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. I guess I put in the cartridge tilty because it did not load the game correctly. I was actually kind of worried that I heard a sound like I might have broken the cartridge or the Super Nintendo, but it turns out I didn't. Everything is fine. And so I started a new game. This one is very similar to the Super Mario World credits warp. You have to do a bunch of setting up the sprite X coordinate table, and the memory is laid out a little bit differently in this one though. The sprite X coordinate table consists of not just the pixel that the sprite despawns on, but actually the screen, the pixel, and the subpixel. So it's 3 bytes. A subpixel is it's a unit of measurement smaller than a pixel that sort of tracks how far you are in your progress towards moving to the next pixel over. It's used to create much more smooth movement rather than having to jump from one pixel to the next. Anyway, so a lot of this run is just about getting the sprites, basically getting the eggs that Yoshi has following him into certain sprite slots so that when you do despawn those sprites, they'll be consecutive in memory and they'll be treated as, code one byte after another. So we end up throwing 4 sprites. Each one has 3 bytes in that X coordinate table. So it's 12 bytes of arbitrary code that we're running, though a lot of those bytes aren't really useful bytes of code. They're just kind of padding so that the game doesn't crash and we get to keep running our code. So here you'll start to see the first egg throws. So these are, when these eggs despawn, their screen, pixel, and subpixel have to be exactly the right values. And luckily there's setups for that. So I didn't discover any of this. The only thing I've discovered in this entire video was the Super Mario World stuff. All these other ones, I've just been following other people's instructions and routes. And then here I did a cool little skip of the beanstalk that you might have seen in my video. It's called an extended flutter, I think. I don't know. I'm not actually very well versed in how this game works. Anyway, so I here I throw the 4th egg, again, despawning it at a pixel and subpixel perfect X coordinate. And so now I've set up 12 bytes of code, and on the next level, I'm going to trigger a glitch called the tongue glitch to actually run that code, trigger that code, and have it play the credits. The tongue glitch is an interesting one. You get into a glitch state where Yoshi's tongue retracts infinitely. So instead of it goes forward a bit, normally Yoshi's tongue goes forward a bit and then retracts, and then that's it. In this case, it goes forward a bit, retracts, and then keeps retracting to negative infinity. So it tries to draw more and more tiles sort of behind Yoshi's head, or underneath in this case, since I do an up tongue. And you'll actually see, if you look very closely, you'll see the tongue underneath Yoshi during this tongue glitch. Right there. I don't know, maybe you saw it. Anyway, it keeps overwriting more and more memory until it overwrites Baby Mario's state, his state, and so it writes an invalid state to Baby Mario. And so normally the game runs code every frame based on Baby Mario's current state. And so it ran basically invalid code, or code from a place that it wouldn't normally run code from, which happened to end up getting to the sprite X coordinate table and executing that code. Interesting glitch. Yeah, so 3 of those are arbitrary code execution glitches, and then the other one is the memory exploration glitch. I think they're all cool. I had a lot of fun learning them. I've shown you videos of each of those individual runs on my channel before, but I've never done them all back to back. I did a lot of work to get this all very consistent. That is, make sure that I had backup strategies for everything, and that I was executing things in a way that wasn't necessarily the fastest possible way, but that was very reliable, that I wasn't going to like mess something up that caused me to have to like reset the run. So I put a lot of work into that, and it's pretty cool to see it all come together and complete the whole thing in under 15 minutes. So if you do want to try it out for yourself, I'm going to put links in the video description for the various resources for the various games. The way that the timing works is you start it on Super Mario Bros. 3 from the file select. So when you press start to select the file, that's the beginning of the time. In each game, you have to have a fully faded in sort of like credits scene. So in Super Mario Bros. 3, you have to have Mario present in the credits scene with Princess Toadstool. In Super Mario World, the entire screen has to be visible in the Yoshi's house, or whatever version of the credits you're in. In Super Mario Mario Land 2, 6 Golden Coins, just there's no fade in, so just the credits have to be visible. The Wario's castle, that turns into Mario's castle, that has to be visible. And then in Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island, this game, you actually end the time when the screen fades to black during the credits warp, when it has like finished fading to black, because that is when you would normally end that speed run, according to the official rules. And so each game has to end, like you have to get to that point in the credits before you can power on the console for the next game. And so I actually started with my Super Nintendo off until I finished Super Mario Bros. Super Mario Bros. 3. I started, once I got to that point in Super Mario Bros. 3 with the credits, then I turned on my Super Mario World, even though the cartridge was already plugged in. And I had to actually switch games, which you might have seen in the webcam. But yeah, those are the basic rules. You can find more rules on each of their respective leaderboards for the different games. But yeah, I had a lot of fun doing this, and hopefully you had fun watching. That's about it. Thanks for watching.